Sorry about that. I didn't have my microphone on. Welcome back to broketv123. I'm your host, Ron. So let's get started. If you'd like to chime in, feel free. Let me know what you think. So, talking about the matrix, simulation, computer program, right? So, I am almost 100% sure that we live, or I live at least, in the matrix, in a simulation, in a computer program. It's like all the same. It's all the same thing. We'll just call it a simulation. All right? So, thoughts. Let's take, for instance, okay, we'll take something simple. When you go to a flea market, right? That's totally left field, right? So you go to a flea market, right? And you always see pretty much the same stuff, right? There's always the same people, the same type of people selling the same type of stuff. Okay, really think about this, right? Any flea market that you go to these days, right? You see the one person selling plants, ferns. I don't think that was ever a thing when I was growing up. It's like the simulation just kind of like threw that in there, you know. Then you see the one person selling used tires or rims. Every once in a while you see somebody selling a car, but I'm talking about the stuff that you see like all the time. And kind of like this, there's no way this is coincidence, right? So let's see. So you see, there's always that one nice girl. She's always there selling her perfume, or it's like something she made at the house, right? Like it's a cream, it's a hand cream or something like that, right? Right on. So like, yeah, but she's always really nice. In fact, if you're nice enough to her, she'll give you something for free. She'll be like, here, take a sample. Thanks, simulation. I mean, thanks, girl. Thanks. Appreciate that. What else do you see? You always see the guy who has like the old milk crates, right? Like you never see, like, where'd this guy get all these milk crates from, right? Can he even still get milk crates? I haven't seen a milk crate in like 30 years, right? It don't make sense, but it does. It's weird, man. I'm telling you, if you just stop and pay attention to everything around you, it'll drive you insane. Don't go insane. Don't go crazy. But this is, I'm 47 years old, man. And honestly, I didn't start noticing this stuff until, let me think. I'm trying to think back. I want to say, man, when did I start? Well, okay, so the Matrix movie came out and blew everybody's mind. Thank you, Keanu Reeves. Great movie, great trilogy. His new one was okay. You know what? I don't remember anything about the new one. Doesn't mean it was bad. Maybe I had a lot going on when I was watching it or something. I need to go back and rewatch it. Because let's face it, Keanu Reeves has never made a bad movie. I don't think he has. So, hey, y'all, welcome. Y'all are like the first to ever come on to the show and say anything. Welcome. Why does somebody want me to talk about High School Musical? You know, I've never seen it. I know who Zac Efron is. By the way, have you seen that dude lately? So apparently, okay, I'll talk about him for a second. So apparently, if you want to see something weird, you know, he was a good looking dude, right? You know, but one day he supposedly tripped and fell, and he hit the corner of a table or something. Anyway, it ripped his jaw like off or whatever, and they had to go in and resew it and everything. Now he's got this like weird looking huge jaw. Looks like he's had collagen put in his lips and everything. I'm swear, look at his picture. Look it up. It's weird, man. He's still not ugly. So, but he looks like he's been taking some roids. Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm reading comments. Okay. So, okay, we'll get off subject here. You want to talk about Comic-Con? Somebody wants to talk about Comic-Con. I used to go to Comic-Con. I used to love it. Did I ever get any autographs? No. I didn't care about that crap. And besides that, if they're going to autograph something, it should be free. I mean, that's common sense. But what they're thinking, they're like, okay, well, you're going to get this autograph, and then you're going to take it and sell it online for thousands of dollars. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But anyway, back on subject to talking about the Matrix simulation, right? We live in it, or at least I do. Maybe all y'all are NPCs, non-player characters. I mean, it's a possibility. And maybe this is all like just some implant in my brain. Sorry, I'm not going crazy, y'all. Chill out. I'm still trying to figure out why did somebody want me to talk about High School Musical? What? That's like it makes no sense. Okay, I mean that's hilarious. I do need to watch it. I like some musicals. Like I grew up on watching musicals back in the day. Mary Poppins. Nothing can beat it. Don't get me started on Mary Poppins, dude. Hey, you want to see something cool? Go watch the it's called Scary Mary, where somebody took Mary Poppins and redid it's like it's like a trailer. There is a redo for the trailer of it for the movie, but they made it look like a horror film, and it is freaking awesome. Yeah. All right. So anyway, back on the subject, simulations. I know somebody ain't trying to call me right now. Man. Well, you better text me. Don't call me in the middle of this. What is going on, man? Oh. If Padme turned down Anakin, I don't know, man. Oh, psh. Sorry about that. By the way, I got some tree limbs on an old pecan tree, a pecan tree. Excuse me one second. Volume down. Sorry about that. I had to tell my thing to turn this volume down. So anyway, I got a. I hate to get off subject, but anyway, I have a huge pecan tree in my front yard, and I went out there and I cut some limbs off myself with a pole saw, but there are some huge freaking limbs on it, and I so need somebody to just cut them down. I have like maybe 6 to 8 limbs. They're probably about this big around. Most of them are like that. But anyway, I just need somebody to go up there, cut them down, and then I'll haul them off. I can take care of the rest. I have chainsaw and all that, but I don't have a lift. If only I had a lift. But I had one guy, man. He was like, our minimum is $600 some. So I'm like, what? If y'all know anybody, come out and do it for a couple $100. All they got to do is cut them off. That is it. Too bad my uncle ain't still alive. Dude, he used to do that, man. He'd crawl up in a darn tree, cut them limbs down. And you ought to hear all the stories about that. It's crazy. Hosea, what are you talking about, dude? If Padme turned down Anakin, does he turn into Darth Vader? That's a really good question. I know Star Wars pretty well. Do I have a mom? What? I have a mom. Yes, I have a pet. What is going on with people? Y'all are asking me some. Yes, I have a pet. I have 2 cats. I have a little boy, a little girl. Her name's Iris. His name's Bobo. Call him Bo. Sometimes I call him Bubby. Come here, Bubby. But only I call him that. He knows when I call him that. So it's my nickname for his name, whatever. Anyway. So simulation, yeah. So you're in a simulation and you start getting all these weird comments and everything. It's good that I'm getting comments. I love comments. I don't care. Keep it G rated. But as long as I get comments, you could say something mean. I don't care. Just don't say it to my face. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But no, y'all are awesome. What do y'all think about the lighting? Here's a good question for you. Is it blue or is it purple? Because the reason I ask, because the lamp is blue, but on my screen it looks purple. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if real people are even commenting me right now. So you know I'm a dude. I don't know. I don't know why you said that. Anyway, yeah, so the Matrix the simulation will play with you. What goes around comes around. Okay? So in other words, like think about something that has happened in your past, and then think about, has it happened again, but in a different way, but very similar, right? Let's say, okay, so you met somebody in the past, right? They were a piece of crap, right? They treated you like crap, you know, just whatever. They were garbage. They were a bad person. They were a bad NPC, right? So later on, years later, you meet somebody kind of the same. They totally look like a totally different person, right? Um, okay, so I'm talking, catch everybody back up. I'm talking about the matrix and the simulation on how, I'm trying to like blow your mind on this, right? A lot of, in, just hear me out. Okay. By the way, this will repost so you can go back and rewatch. Okay. But what I'm trying to point out is, and no, I'm not crazy or anything. I might be a mad scientist or something like that, but I'm not crazy or anything. So anyway, anyway, you met that second person and you're no longer with that second person, but you kind of look back and you go, man, they were just like that other person. Reason I'm saying this is because it happened to me, right? I'm not going to give away names or anything like that. If you are one of my exes and you're watching this, may God be with you and see you on your way. Okay. I've made my peace. But anyway, so like that first person, it was all good in the first and everything. He was get go, and I was like, yeah, everything's good. Yeah. Woo. And it turned out to be, just a piece of trash. I know there's people out there that have been in the same position, man or woman. They have been in the same position as me. But then later on down the road, you meet that person again. They're just in a different body, right? It's like that. Like, dude, same freaking person, man. Like, what the heck is going on here, man? I mean, it's. Stay with me on this, right? Stay with me, y'all. I know I'm not the only person in this world that has ever gone through this. So, my point is that's the matrix or the simulation trying to either get you again or try to teach you something. It's chalk it up to God, whatever you want. And yes, I'm a Christian. I'm a God-fearing guy. I always have been ever since I was a little kid. But somebody is trying to teach you a lesson, right? We have free will, right? Supposedly. Even though our destiny has already been planned out since the day we were born, right? But my point is that we live in some type of simulation. It's all around us. If you would just look, unless you're a part of it. But if you are real, whatever. Let me go back. Let me go backwards. So I have never been this way until I would say probably about probably about 20, I'm just going to go on a limb, 2020, right? Everything changed for me then. My dad died. He lived till 90, right? And then like all these things started like just piling down. started thinking about all this different stuff and everything. And I was never like this ever, right? I never used to talk this much, ever. I mean, something changed, right? Now, I know the movie Matrix, it came out and God, came out what, late 90s or something like that. And that's when everybody was like, "Oh man, the Matrix! Oh, we live in the Matrix!" All right, and everything was like, that was, that was supposed to be the beginning of it. But I've seen all those movies, and never once did I think how I think today. And yeah, I think it was around 2020 that I started thinking about this stuff. It's like it hit me, boom, hit me like like a bomb, and I was just like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go before that. Well, I don't know. It seemed like it all started after a breakup with someone, and after that, I kind of just I gave up. Right? I know a lot of people probably question, like, "Oh man, why is he single? Been single for so long," and all that. I have been single since 2008, I think. And the reason why is because I have, my last girlfriend, she died. Okay. And everything changed for me after that. And I just gave up. And, and not once did I ever blame God. Not once. And so I was like, okay, maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe this is time for it's time for a change. Right? By the way, you're going to be watching my show. You're going to be going deep. I get deep, man. So, I want to make people's brains, like, I want to restart your brain, because it seems like a lot of people these days are just nothing but robots. Yeah. They go out, they get up, they work, they come home, they make dinner, have a bowl of popcorn, maybe a bowl of ice cream, take a shower, go to sleep, wake up next day, do it all over again. And not once do they stop and contemplate the question, what is it all for? Or why are we here? Maybe there is no reason for us being here. I mean, maybe it's just an accident. Maybe that's all it is. Yeah. But I definitely use my brain every single day, and I get exhausted too. I thought I keep coming up with all these ideas and everything. I'm kind of like, man, like, my mom asked me, she was like, where do you come up with this stuff? I'm like, aliens feeding my brain. Yeah. Because I've wrote a book. I wrote a skit book. I was writing a third book, but I spent a year writing this book, and it got wiped out on my computer. I did not have a backup. I thought I did. It's still all up here. I just need to put it back out on paper. Um, yeah. But I get all these ideas and everything, I keep going. My grandma one time, I'll never forget this, and I'm probably repeating myself from an old video, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the Matrix would be nice to me. But anyway, I my my grandmother, when I was probably, I don't know, I was under 12 probably, or maybe 12. I don't know. Anyway, she asked me, "What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be?" Like they ask you in school. And I was like, I don't know. There's so much to do out there. I didn't say the typical, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I don't remember saying that. But anyway, she was like, I was like, there's so much to do. And she's like, well, do it all till you find your niche, niche. Okay. And, as an adult, and I think back to that, I think it's kind of like the simulation was part of that, trying to figure out at earliest as possible which way to go with me. Right? When they ask that question to kids in school, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's just not a question. It's not just a question. They ask you that to see if you stand out. So most kids say, I want to be a fireman, a policeman. I want to be a doctor, a lawyer. When the kid says, I want to be a marine biologist. You do? Yep. Where'd you hear that from? Because they ask you this at a young age, like kindergarten, right? Where'd you get that from? Oh, just something that I read. What? Yeah. So that's what they do. They see if that one kid's going to stand out. And then the Matrix takes care of them further down the road. Everybody else, the Matrix is kind of just like, they're normal. Let's put them over here. Yeah, put that one kid over here. He's good. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, the simulation, the Matrix. Well, I tell you, I got one for you. Why is it that there's 7 billion people in the world and I only have 58 subscribers? Something wrong there. I mean, I'm not a bad guy or anything like that. It's kind of like, is a simulation trying to test me? Trying to see how far I will go? Because, dude, man, there's some people out there that will do some crazy stuff just to get subscribers and everything. And sorry, it's not me. I try to be as real as possible, right? You want to watch my shows and, hear the truth and everything, Yeah. It's just like you got the one guy, like, dude, he will take a nice car and destroy it. Why? To get views. People are crazy, right? I was seeing something today on my phone popping up more than usual. these. Sorry about that. I feel like my phone's a little crooked. You're probably like, thank God, you finally fixed it. Or did I fix it? I didn't fix it. That right? Yeah. Okay. Oh my God! Thank God, that was driving me nuts. Anyway, so the simulation, how does it get your information? I'll tell you one way. These car giveaways that you see on your phone. Hey guys, check this out. You want to win this cool car? Okay, man, it's a cool car, and we're giving away $100,000 cash with it too. Yeah. All you gotta do is buy some merchandise, okay? Yeah. See, I can do that crap too. Now, don't get me wrong. A friend of mine, dude, if you're watching this right now, you better say something. But a friend of mine won a very nice car. I'm not going to say what kind of car it is. You know who you are. But he won through one of those days. He came to me one day. He's like, dude, I won. I was like, get out of here. Man, you didn't. What? Get out of here, man. You didn't freaking win. Man, this guy won this nice freaking car. And supposedly it was an older vehicle, like from the 60s, mid 60s, and good looking car. Pulls up in it. And I'm like, yo, you won that? And I think he had to pay taxes on it. I think it was like a couple grand or something. I don't know. And I was like, well, I see the Matrix being good to you. God dang. And so then days later or whatever, he was like talking about it. And he's like, man, I'm not quoting word for word, but he was basically in a nutshell. Like, he was like, man, this thing's crap. And I'm like, what? I thought it was supposed to be like a frame off restoration or something like that, you know? And he's like, dude, it's got like metal cancer all over it and it's Bondo or something, all kinds of just junk, whatever. I never saw, I think it was probably underneath it or whatever. But yeah, he was like, dude, and he got rid of that car. And I was like, I bet you're going to regret that. But he got rid of it. Got himself a nice other car. Nice modern car. I was like, wow. So, yeah, if only the Matrix was, or the simulation, whatever, was as nice to me, you know. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out as far as simulation. So, I know, you know, everybody's seen like all this, you know, stuff about the alien spaceship and whatever's supposed to be here in 100 and some days or whatever, or something like that. You probably keep seeing it on your phone pop up or whatever. So I don't know if you caught one of my little shorts, but I said that one of four things is going to happen. One, it's going to be aliens. It's going to be a spaceship. They're going to land here and do their thing. There'll probably be a bunch of a-holes just like us. They'll be good and bad. They're just a whole nother civilization trying to find a new place to live, right? Two, it's not a spaceship. It is an asteroid shaped like a piece of dookie. At least that's the pictures I see. Heading this way. And then let's see. 3, I am going to go play the Powerball for North Carolina, and I'm going to win. And watch, I'll win right before freaking aliens get here and destroy us all. No. 4, none of it will happen. It won't be no aliens. It won't be no asteroid. And I won't win the freaking lottery. All that would just. It's like what was it? Alanis Morissette said in her song. He won the lottery and died the next day. What if that? It was like foreshadow. What if the Matrix is just like, we'll put this foreshadow in here, kind of like the Simpsons, the Simpsons predicting. We'll put it. We'll get this chick Alanis to sing it and see if anybody picks up on it years later. I'll win the lottery. I'll have a heart attack and die, and then it will either be an asteroid that comes here and destroys the rest of the planet, or spaceship and destroy all humans. By the way, this is a video game. It's kind of a funny video game. Well, I hope I haven't bored y'all since being on here. I tend to go on with these podcasts, man. You never know when they're going to end, right? Because my mind is just full of stuff, It's the Matrix. Is just, you got the guy doing the Matrix right now. He's filling my brain up. You want to see a good one? Watch. There's a thing with Family Guy. One of the cutaways. It shows the aliens controlling the people on Family Guy. And it shows one of them where he's like, "Hey man, can we trade? This guy sucks, man." And he looks over at what the other guy's got, and the other guy's got like a human like killing animals or something like that. And he's like, oh, never mind. So anyway, simulation. Yeah. I'm trying to point out something. Okay. So I'll talk about something that I've kept hush hush on for a long time. I have seen the same female in different bodies. I'll let that set in for a second. By the way, I'm not trying to bash women or anything like that. I love women. Well, for the most part. I love them until they don't love me no more. Till they move on to the bigger, better deal. But no. Okay, so let me explain. So this is one reason why I think we live in a simulation. So, okay, for those who play video games, okay, I'll use a really good example. There's a game that I play. It is my favorite game probably to play on Xbox. It's called Far Cry 5, right? It's big, like open world. Okay. There's a cult that comes in, takes over the homestead and everything, set down in the country in Montana and all that. And you have to go in and annihilate them, all the cult, kill all the bad guys. Simple, right? I've beat this game like so many freaking times. But one thing I noticed in it, and you've probably seen this in other games, but I always see the same character, but playing somebody else. Like, you'll notice their face, right? Like you're bumping into this one girl, see her face, right? And you just go down about a mile in the game or whatever, and you bump into this another girl. She got the same face. And it's like, what the heck? So I have seen this in real life. I've never talked about this before, right? Because I didn't want to sound weird. But I don't care what people think about me. And yeah. By the way, if you're wondering what's up with my hair, you see the frizz on top? That is hair that has been pulled out. Not even pulled out. I mean, it's hair that like got accidentally, like I brushed my hair. When you brush your hair, you lose hair, right? And so that's little ones growing back. See? So they look like mad scientist. Anyway, so this girl, like I keep seeing her. I saw her, let's see. The first time I saw her was, and I mean like almost 100% identical. And they say we have like 4 twins out there or something like that, doppelgangers or whatever. But my point is that this is one thing it tells me we live in a simulation. So anyway, or at least I do. So the first time I saw her was, let's see, 20. Trying to think how long ago that was. God, 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, right? So I see this girl, right? And 3 years later, I see her again. First time I saw her was, I think I was over at a friend's house or something like that. Anyway, second time I saw her, or similar, was in a bar, and I was looking at her, and like I knew this girl, I got to know her or whatever. Anyway, and I saw her, and she looked at me, and there was nothing there. There was just, and oh, okay. So one thing that stuck out, besides that, this really freaked me out. Okay. So the first one had stretch marks, dark red stretch marks around her sides, right? And then the second one I saw in the bar, and she was shooting pool. She bent over, shoot or whatever, saw the stretch marks. And I was like, that's got to be her. It was several years later, like 3 years later, I think. And then somebody said her name, and it wasn't the same name. I'm not going to say any names, but it wasn't the same name. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, swear that's her. And anyway, she walked past me. And I was like, what the heck? Well, then, let's see. About 5 years later, I was in a place. There she is again. But this time, she looked a little different. Her hair was a different color. But I remember talking to her and everything. Totally different name. So that's 3 names, 3 different names now. And she talked differently, but she had the same mannerisms and everything. And as I, it was a long time before I knew her and everything. But then I saw the stretch marks, same ones, And I was like, what the heck? Oh, and this was before I started thinking about the Matrix and everything, the simulation stuff. And I'm sitting there going, how is it possible? I see like three women. They're like almost identical and everything. This is weird. This is freaking me out. Okay. And then the third one started reminding me of somebody I know personally. And then I got really freaked out. It was almost like I was seeing the same person from young to old. Like boom, 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 boom. It's like I was watching them like they're clones or something. You know, I'm serious. I know this sounds weird or anything. I know I'm not crazy or anything, but if you've seen the stuff that I've seen, it's like, dude, I hardly believe in coincidence. Okay. I know you're probably sitting there going like, what the heck is he talking about, man? What the heck is in this? What's he drinking? This is water. By the way, nobody knows I've been on a diet since the first. I'm doing a 30-day diet thing. Yeah. I drink nothing but water, no soda or anything like that. Yes, I eat food. I didn't mean that to sound like I only drink water. But I'd only drink water since then. It's day 20, 21. What day is it? It's 21. So, yeah, if I was only drinking water, I'd be dead. I'm like hypoglycemic or something like that. I have to eat. Anyway, but I don't want to tell you about my diet. If you want to know about my diet, just watch my videos. I do one every morning. I'd be like, hey, today's day, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so I haven't seen, anyway, I saw that one girl's, that girl, I've seen her 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to even make it even more creepier, I knew this person back in the day, this female, and I've seen her like several different times. I hate to do this right now, but somebody's at my door. So please hold. I'll be right back. Take a break. Hey, go, man. Good. I just watched it for I just see my email from you like a couple hours ago for IGD. Do you know Ken? No. All right, well, anyway, this is very honest. But this one guy, this one dude. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. I am back. I'm sorry about that. I had a guy come out here and price me to just cut limbs off my tree when I was talking about before, my pecan tree, whatever you say. How do you say it? It depends on where you're from. Pecan. Anyway, just to cut like a couple of limbs off and trying to charge me $500. If there's anybody out there that will do it for $200, all you got to do is cut them down, lay them, and I'll take care of the rest. I'll throw them out there in my woods, or give it to somebody who wants some firewood. But yeah, man, I can't afford $500. I can barely afford $200. That's a bunch of crap, man. Shoot. I can't do it because I don't want to have to crawl up there, and saw stuff down. If I had a bucket, like a lift, sure, no problem. I might have a buddy who's got a lift. If you know somebody's got a lift, let me borrow or whatever. Anyway. So what happened to all my people commenting, man? Y'all just went bye-bye. If y'all still listening, let me know. So let's see, where were we? I don't even remember what the last thing I was talking about was as far as the simulation. Oh, the female, right? Oh, okay. So I ran into another female, and it was all about the face, the eyes, right? I have seen this same eye female, whatever. I have seen her so many times, I lost count. It was over 10. So right there, I'm just like, I start thinking about simulation. I'm kind of like, something weird, man. You know what she kind of looked like? Scarlett Johansson. Except she always has, well, no, sometimes she has blonde hair, sometimes she has, she's a brunette. Yeah. I'm not making this stuff up, man. I'm serious. It's just so freaking weird, man. Now, as far as dudes, I don't pay much attention to. But if you're noticing this too, I tell you what, if this happens to has been happening to you too, comment yep, YEP. I'll wait. That's all you got to say. We don't have to go down that road or anything, but I just want to know if anybody out there feels the same way that I do. Might be a delay, but anyway, we'll see. So anyway, yeah, simulation. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but everything changes like every 10 years, right? I've had I don't know if anybody ever watched it though. I had a Not Alive podcast one time talking about how you had the 50s. I started in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and 2000s. And yeah, think about that. Every 10 years it changed. I mean, it's if you really start thinking about this stuff, man, it blows your mind. It really does. There is a place called CERN, CERN, and let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can. Find it here. The European Organization for Nuclear Research. If I looked at the right thing. So a lot of people have blamed CERN for putting us in a different reality. And this is just stuff that I have read and watched and all that. Okay. They're saying that, oh yeah, they opened up a portal. Read up on CERN. But it apparently they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They're messing with, the laws of physics and stuff. It's some crazy stuff, man. So, by the way, if you would like me to change the subject and talk about something else, let me know. tell me in the comments, like say, hey, let's talk about this, and I'll talk about it. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen to you as well. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. So, and if I am in a simulation, and the billions of people out there that are watching this, and none of them say one thing, then I will 100% know that I'm in a simulation now. Have you ever heard of the death theory? DEATH theory. So there is a theory out there that we have died. Like when I say we, I mean people. Like they say, I have died. Kind of like a cat. Cat has 9 lives, they say, or whatever. So we as humans, like, we have died so many times in our life. But every time we have, obviously we don't realize it, and everything just kind of like just keeps going. But we're put into a different universe, the multiverse or whatever, and all that. Something very strange thing. I started counting one day that I was like, death theory. I was like, I started counting, like, ever since I was a little kid, how many times that I could have died. Whether I wrecked my go-kart. I did wreck my go-kart really bad one time when I was a kid. I was 12, I think. Yeah. I remember blacking out. So, but it probably started way before that, but I'm just talking out of my ass. Okay. This is just, theories or whatever. All right. So let's say, so in kindergarten, I got a whooping by the teacher. And anyway, it's what if that was one of them? Like I was beat senselessly. Senselessly. I can't even say that word. I was beat so bad that it killed me. But then I came right back in another universe, whatever. Right? And then when I got home, Mom beat me again. And I died again. Right? So, yeah. So let's see. I stepped in a beehive. Man, I was young. I was probably like 7 years old or something. I was walking through the forest behind the house. And I remember, like, I was like, and all of a sudden I went, and I went, oh, what was that? And I went, okay. I kept walking. And next thing you know, I felt, oh, what's something wrong with my leg? And I looked down, and I was wearing blue jeans. And I looked down, and man, I stepped in a beehive and in one of those ground yellow jackets nests. I stepped in that sucker, man. You talk about some pain. I went running to the house, and I remember just screaming my head off. And I think my brother, my mom came out, and my brother started hitting me with a floss water. And anyway, they took them jeans right off of me. And Mom said the jeans were, blue jeans, but she said I was so covered that the jeans were yellow. And I just remember being like in so much pain. And then they took me inside, and I think my grandmother held me while Mom was putting something on me. I can't remember. Like, remember that pink stuff? Where they used to put that pink stuff on you? What was that? A calamine lotion? Or something? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, that was probably one of the times that I died. Right? There was a time when it was me and my brother and a couple other kids, I think, whatever, we always do this thing where we would hang out at the mailbox, on our bicycles or whatever. And I remember like chunking a rock at this guy's old Blazer, old Chevy Blazer, old K5 Blazer. I'll never forget it. It was yellow and white. And I chunked that rock and I hit that thing. And that car went backed up, and this big, all I remember is a huge dude. It was like he was 10 feet tall, 5 feet wide. This huge dude just got out and started like, running after me. And I'm just like, dude. That was back in the day when we used to watch Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk didn't have nothing on this guy. This guy was pissed. I ran as fast as I could to the back porch. And my driveway is, pretty long for what it is. And dude, I got on that. I ran into the house and everything. And I remember, I think my brother was like, "Hey, Rome, this guy here wants to talk to you." I'm like this little kid, whatever. Anyway, Mom went out there and told the dude, was like, "Get the heck off our lawn." Yeah, something like that. I'm like, dude, you don't want to miss my mom. She is the Incredible Hulk. She'll beat your butt. But anyway, that guy, he got back in his car and left. Turns out I found out where he lived. Lived right up the street. He's probably dead now. But anyway, I need to drive by that house and see if that Blazer's still out there. Yeah. Because that's how one day I was driving by there. I was like, well, there's that Blazer. I mean, there can only be one yellow and white Blazer in my neighborhood. So, but anyway, just thinking like, what if he really did get a hold of me that day? He would have tore me from limb to limb. I was a runt back in the day. Man, I was so, anybody who knows me knows how small I used to be. One of my friends, last year, I think it was. Yeah. Hadn't seen him in like 20 years. Showed up at the house. I'm sitting there and he comes up on me and he's like, "What's up, bud?" And I'm like, I didn't even recognize him. I was like, "Hey, what's up? Can I help you?" And and then it hit me, and I recognized him by his eyes, and that was it. And I was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" He's like, "Oh my God, you're not little Rome anymore." Because I was like this. People know me when I graduated. I weighed 120 pounds at 6 feet tall. I was skinny. But yeah, and he doesn't know how close he came to being shot. Because man, I tell you what, you don't play around these days, man. Um, yeah, but anyway, that could have been another time I got killed. Reset. By the way, there's a TV show. I can't remember what it's called. There's a sci-fi show about a guy. He every time he dies, he wakes up in the river or something, in the lake or whatever. Weird show, but yeah. But let's see what else. There was a time where me and my buddy almost got jumped because I ran my mouth. I shouldn't have. It was my fault. We were out and about, and I said something nasty that I shouldn't have to this guy's girlfriend. And the guy and all his friends almost killed me. Or maybe they did. Yeah, I learned a lesson on that one. I was like, man, why did I do that? I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. But that's what life is all about, right? You live and you learn. As long as you learn from your mistakes, okay? As long as you learn. As you get older, like they say, the wise man. You get older, you get more wise, right? More intelligent. Yeah. But anyway, simulation is like, the simulation is flawed, but in its own way, if that makes sense. And it's all around us, you know. And that's also why I made that TV show miniseries called Trapped, because like I said, like I didn't start thinking about simulation until 5 years ago or whatever, something like that. I wish I could pinpoint if I really thought about it, I could probably pinpoint the exact point. But anyway, I started making that miniseries, and yeah. So, there's a lot of things I think about, like as far as like video games, kind of like that Far Cry 5 video game where it's open world and all that. And I swear to you, there's a character in there. Her name's Grace, and she's one of your helpers. She walks around with you and helps kill people, whatever, the bad guys. And anyway, you'll be sitting there walking through the forest or whatever, and she'll start saying some crap like, what if there is no nothing out there after we die, and all this stuff and everything. And I'm sitting there going, why is she saying this? What is that? The simulation trying to talk to me, trying to make me think, what if when we die, like it was all test, when we die, the aliens are going to be sitting there, and we're going to wake up in this room, and they're going to be like, yeah, everything, the Bible, everything was all simulation. It was all test to see. And they're going to be like, all we want to know is what you learned. And they're going to say, because they're going to be, a reason why is because they're going to be like, everybody that we send into the simulation brings back something different. So what did you learn while you were in there? Hey, but what about the Bible and everything and all that stuff? Well, we put that in there to make you really think, confuse you, to confuse others, to do all this stuff, da, da, da. We gave you free will, in a way, to think for yourself. Or at least, well, we put a little bit of stuff in there. But we want to know, what if, Now I've seen video testaments of people like they've died and came back, and they were sorry about that. We had a little bit of a drag or something. That was weird. It said reconnecting. Very, very strange. Let me check my battery. Yeah. So it looks like we're almost out of time. My battery's going dead on my phone. But that's a simulation getting to me. I'm like, I can't even remember what the heck I was talking about. There's a theory, a thing called when you leave a room and you go into another room, and when you go in another room, you go, what did I just come in here for? There's a term for that. Look it up. I swear to you. Simulation. There's so many things that point to simulation, right? There's so much out there. Everything repeats itself in a similar way. Look at all the LA riots and all that stuff, and all that stuff. Remember the LA riots in '92? Okay. Well, look at all the riots they had in Los Angeles again. It's like it repeats itself. It keeps coming back. There'll be another one, and blah 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 blah. And it's like the simulation keeps regurgitating this game, right? And each time it does, it puts in something a little bit different. Something. I know I'm right. I'm right there at it, dude. If there's somebody if their brain is as big as mine and thinks about this stuff or whatever, please comment or let me know, in the comments or whatever. But it's weird, man. I'm telling you. Anybody get that feeling like that, like something you can't really put your finger on it, right? You can't really pinpoint, but there is something strange about life today. You're like, man, there's something. What is it? I'm telling you, man. I don't want to freak anybody out or anything like that. But I'm not trying to do that. It's not a scare tactic or anything like that. But like they say, like with this supposedly alien spaceship coming or whatever, and like, watch at the very last minute, everybody's going to be busting their butts to get to the grocery store and stack up on stuff, and they're going to head out and get some gasoline for their cars, all that stuff, man. They're going to be, it's a scare tactic. It always is. It's always a scare tactic to get us to buy, to consume. Right? Let's hope it's only a scare tactic. Because that would be a whole lot better, I think, than an asteroid coming here or aliens. I don't know why aliens want to come here anyway. This place sucks. In some areas it does. Life is what you make it. If you don't like something about your life, change it. Right? I'm wrong with broketv123. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see y'all next time on Flip Flop. All right.